this video is going to be about the one thing that email marketing agencies, especially Klaviyo specific ones, don't want you to know about. And it's a video that's probably not going to be the best for the algorithm because it's something very technical and sounds boring, but it's going to be attribution settings. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you the answer to this question. And if you want to watch the rest of the video, you can watch it. It's up to you. It would definitely help. And if you can engage and comment and like and subscribe and all of that good stuff, that would be amazing. But I'm just going to tell you, okay? So the answer is attribution settings. So people don't want you to know about this. If you have an e-commerce store making 100K or more per month revenue, they don't want you to know this because they're going to come on board and they know you've already seen your other friends who have e-commerce stores who get 40% of revenue from email, or why do I not have a screenshot about this? Yeah. Yes, there we go. 35.7% revenue from email. This is one of my clients actually, but it's a case study material, if you understand what I mean. Like, this is one of my case studies because it's pretty good result. Like, it's decent revenue per month. This was like January to a little bit of February, which is a shitty 30 days in general. It's not a gym membership or not some kind of like fitness supplements that it usually performs well in January, or like weight loss. It's a, let's just say, fashion niche, okay? So you've seen a bunch of other screenshots in Facebook groups maybe, or like some Instagram guy who's living in Dubai has posted that he's getting 40% revenue from email, and you feel like if you don't get 40%, then you're underperforming, which is just not the case. There are times when we're doing pretty much the exact same, maybe even more campaigns per month than for this client, for example. And like we look at like more personalization, more flows, I don't know, all of this complicated stuff, more conditional splits. And somehow, just because of the audience, there's something about the audience, there's something about the brand, there's something that means that the best we can do is like 25, maybe 30% on better months, okay? And I worked with this hair extension brand, and we were getting like 40% or above. And then we worked with a guy who knew about that we work with this hair extension brand. And then they created all of their products the exact same messaging, probably nicer website design. And the Facebook ads were like very similar, like similar numbers coming in, but just somehow it wasn't performing as well, which is, and we were doing pretty much the exact same thing. And at that point, we already knew what was working for this other hair extension brand. And it was just, I don't know, 20, 25%, which is still great. But it's just, when you expect 40%, then you're kind of like, you're in this weird spot where you're going to jump on a call with me and maybe some other email guys or girls. And then it's going to be down to like, who's going to lie to you more on the sales call, okay? Like, who's going to be bolder, which is usually the newer guys who haven't had like those experiences, you know, like they work with 5 clients, they just started now, they dropped out of college because they made some money on Upwork, and we always get 40%. You got to be careful with this, okay? Because there are companies, I don't want to name names, but there are some pretty big email marketing or just online marketing agencies that I specifically know about in the US, who go to who take on your account. They close you for 10K per month, which is fine. You know, when you work with like 7-8 figure brands, it can definitely make sense. Sometimes my pricing can be like that if we make a lot of money, you know, like I always try to get at least like a 10x ROI. If I charge you 10K, that means I want to get at least 100K from email or 200K just from email. But what they might do is come in here to Klaviyo settings, go to attribution, and in here they're going to switch the email attribution from 5 to 30 days. So 5 days is the standard, like the default setting by Klaviyo. And also there's another, like I didn't even open down this window, which I will do now. So this is what the rest of this page looks like. Tracking and reporting data. So there, like with all of this like iOS news, there were these Apple privacy open. So if you don't know what that means, it's basically like when on some Apple devices, you can enable this where it will show you a preview of the email, which in some cases used to count as an open. Like they didn't do anything. They didn't click on the email on their preview if they have notifications open. But before it kind of counted as an open, and that was the whole main thing. This is super oversimplifying it because there's a whole lot of like MPP, like bot interactions, like all of that stuff that gets excluded. So this is what the rest of that page would look like. But this is the important bit. So like emails, like 5 days. So like that means if I open your email and then I end up buying something within 5 days, that will be attributed to Klaviyo. Okay, that's how Klaviyo attribution works. Similar to clicked. So opening an email is opening it up, like reading it. Clicking is clicking within the email. And some clients might change this for you. And I've seen other like brands who feel very strongly about like, I need a 1-day attribution window. I don't really know why, which kind of brings me onto this like mindset issue. Actually, I will like finish this thought first and I will talk about the mindset issue is, so like when you expand from 5 days to 30 days, that means obviously a lot more revenue is going to be attributed to Klaviyo because I could do anything because in these settings, if I buy something 10 days later, but I haven't engaged with your emails, I'm not going to be attributed to Klaviyo, whereas maybe it still helped. So I'm not saying it's wrong to do this. It might be wrong to do this without you knowing about it, or, it's kind of like an ethical gray area, but definitely something to keep in mind. And now this is the part where I kind of answered your question. It took me 7 minutes. It took me a while to get there. It took me longer than I expected, but now I just kind of want to talk a little bit about a very common mindset issue that I feel is limiting a lot of e-commerce store owners. Obviously, you got to take these thoughts with a grain of salt because I haven't built a 7 to 8 figure e-commerce business yet. My agency is a decent size, but I have worked with quite a few, and this is just something that I noticed with the guys who make the most money don't have this issue. So if you want to listen to the rest of this, just as a thought experiment, you don't have to take it as a rule. I'm not a legal advisor. I don't think I'm going to give legal advice or like thoughts on a legal matter, but I just wanted to say it to lower the probability I will get sued. So the common mindset issue that I'm seeing quite often is people overthink this shit. Okay, I'm not sure if, for example, like this brand doesn't have this issue. Okay, they make 200. Actually, this was a shittier month. They usually make like more like 500K per month, but they don't really think about this too much because it's like, okay, 35% was coming from Klaviyo. I definitely see increases in the daily revenue numbers when we send campaigns, the flows. Like I can show you like revenue data from the abandoned cart flow, for example. Yes, actually here it is. So this is abandoned carts, for example. Abandoned checkout, technically. A good abandoned cart recovery rate, for example, in e-commerce is 10%. In here, we're recovering so like 5% already on the first email, and then 1.7% on the second one, and then 1.9% on the third one. In general, like that's actually how you calculate abandoned cart recovery rates. But the point I was trying to make is like you don't need to overthink this attribution thing. But if you do want to overthink it and you want a second opinion, and the two options that you might have is Google Analytics and Triple Whale. So in my opinion, if you make less than 200K per month, Google Analytics is the answer. If you make more than that, then you could go the more advanced route where you actually pay for this like attribution knowledge. It's called triplewhale.com. It's the closest thing to, a solid attribution model. But Google Analytics is already fine. All you need to do is just like go to settings and enable e-commerce settings, okay? Because Google Analytics has a last click attribution. which means whatever people clicked on last, that's the thing that gets the email attributed. And the reason why you shouldn't, in my opinion at least, overthink this shit is because like all of these channels are contributing to your sales, okay? Like you've got the Facebook ads, and you want to be omni-channel. Like if the stores that I've seen perform the best are everywhere, you know, like SMS, push notifications, Facebook ads, Google ads, social media content, I don't know, maybe even TikTok. And that's just, there's a role in marketing that people usually make a purchase after they see you in 7 different times. It's called just a mere exposure effect. And many marketing studies back this up as well. So if you can be everywhere, in Hungarian, in where I was born, there's this saying, you're even coming out from the tap. Like when someone opens the tap water, you're coming out. So you're kind of everywhere. Tai Lopez had this effect for a while on YouTube. But yeah, that's just a common issue that I see. Like I had a few of these clients who, I would say 50% of our calls were about, are you sure like these sales were made by Klaviyo? And like, I don't know, like if you're that worried about it, then okay, we don't have to do a revenue share model in that case. But if we did, then like, let's just not talk about it. Oh, okay, here's Google Analytics. Have you installed it? No? Okay, I told you 6 months ago to install it. I don't want to make this video any like too much longer. I think I got the point across. Just accept that all of these things are kind of contributing to your sales and just be happy about it. You can, like if this is something that you feel very strongly about, you can do Google Analytics and then do like a fixed price. Just like in e-commerce, I think a good margin is like 20%, like 10 to 20%, depending on like your average order value and things of that nature. So I don't know, for this client where we're making like 100K per month, I think it should be okay to charge up to like 8, 9K per month. I'm actually charging less than this for this client, but you know, it is what it is. Like, especially if we're looking at the campaigns, because that's the main thing that us email marketers can impact. Something that I don't like about Klaviyo is that it shows these like trends. It's not possible to, or very unlikely or very difficult to always have this in the green zone. And the flows are really interdependent on the traffic that you get to the website. So that was the video. The main thing that email agencies don't want you to know about is attribution settings and like attribution windows. So yeah, maybe this is something you can take a look at. If you got this far in the video, make sure that you send a comment like checking in, and then I knew that you watched the whole video, and then maybe good things will happen. So thanks, love you.